Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have two hearings in a case with a man who says he's out of jail and has gotten sober, and he just wants to see his daughter after not seeing her for a year. He says he's done everything he's supposed to see her, and he doesn't understand why Mom's lawyer is fighting this. Let's see what the judge thinks.
All right. I'm gonna go with Phillips and Marin, 19-3-00-33108.
This is Amy Trumbull, the guardian ad litem in the case.
Right. And we have Patrick Phillips.
Yes, right here.
Thank you. And then Miss Cotto is present on behalf of
Monique Marin.
Monique Marin. All right. We're here on a motion for a temporary order, and I believe
Mr. Phillips's motion.
it is Mr. Phillips's motion. So Mr. Phillips, go ahead with any comments and let me know what you are requesting.
I just want to see my daughter, Your Honor. You know, I have done a lot of time in prison. I have nothing to do, has nothing to do with women or children. I'm in drug treatment now. I've been participating. I'm not doing drugs. Yes, I'm staying with my mom. And I just want to be able to see my daughter. I haven't seen her in a year, which a lot of the reasons why, yes, is because of my drug use and my neglect to myself. But I just want to be able to see her and talk to her. I've tried and tried and tried. Monique went with a parenting plan with a Longview police officer a year ago now, and which is the mom, and picked up my daughter. And there's no parenting plan in order. And but neither one of us. I mean, we have been basically sharing. It's been pretty much. I don't want to take custody for her. She doesn't want to take custody for me. There's no keep separates or no DVs. I just want to be able to see my daughter, Your Honor. And what do I have to do more to be able to see her and talk to her? She's talking about 6 months to a year. You know what I mean? That's totally not fair at all. I would never have done this to her. That's all I have to say.
All right. I can completely understand that. I do want to point out a couple things, though, before I turn it over to Ms. Cotto. There is a temporary parenting plan in place, and that was entered December 1st, 2022. And it does show that you were given proper notice to appear at that hearing. And it does outline exactly what you need to do to have visitation.
Your Honor, I was never served that. Okay. The Longview police officer, from my understanding, had my brother's girlfriend at the time take pictures of it and tell me that I had been served. I haven't even talked to her. I haven't talked to her since my daughter had been taken, or since Monique came and got her. I had not talked to my brother's ex-girlfriend because I was in jail. I got out and I've been trying to get a hold of her, but supposedly the Longview police officer had her take pictures, which is not, from my understanding, is not a legal way for me to be served. Am I right or am I wrong?
That's not how I have a proof of service that the documents were delivered to you on an Academia Street address. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you about that, but that's what I'm showing. Okay, that's what I'm showing. So, okay, but I'm showing that was done and this is back in the end of October of 2022, and that there is a temporary parenting plan in place. So what I encourage you to do is, after the court is over, that you go walk around the corner to the clerk's office and ask for a copy of that parenting plan, because it does outline steps for visitation. Okay. All right. Ms. Cotto.
Thank you, Your Honor. So what occurred was Mr. Phillips had an address that he used. That was where the that service was done. That was the address. It was the only address we have. And he did not give notice that he had left the address. So we served at the last known address contained within the court file. And so when my client, we submitted our documentation back in November, and we set it for hearing. Mr. Phillips was, I think, in jail at the time. I found out later on that he was not. We don't know where he was for sure, but
In treatment. I was in treatment.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
We basically executed an order where it gave very limited contact to Mr. Phillips. What has happened since then is my client, it took her a month to get the child because Mr. Phillips's mother wouldn't release the child to my client, even with a valid court order. She had to go with the police. She got the child, and I would ask the court, we provided a fairly lengthy declaration just kind of explaining what happened, and it's mainly centered around the child. And this is a special needs child. She's got an IEP. She's being seen by a counselor, which we provided the information from, I believe, CORE, and all of this will be what part of the problem was is Mr. Phillips served me with one set of docket notices, a second set of docket notices, and we thought it was on for next week. We're prepared to do this today, but I did not get Ms. Turnbull served with a copy of the declaration. So I'm going to be sending her electronic files of all of not only my information that I filed, but some of the dependency information, which would be helpful because the GAL really needs to look at this particular case. This child has had a lot of issues. If you look at the declaration of the counselor, who is, I believe, Vicky, I'm sorry, it's Liana McMillan, who indicates that she's actually treating the child, and this is a really young child, and you've got a child who's actually spending an hour a week with Liana. She spends an hour with the peer support, and then she's being monitored also by the schools. So we've got a lot of professionals involved in this, and this child has had significant trauma in her life. And so one of the things that is most concerning is father having visits with the child without him understanding what this child's been through and what this child needs. As my client tells you in her declaration, Aliana gets really stressed and a lot of anxiety when there's yelling, when there is, she doesn't do well when there's change in the schedule. She goes a couple steps forward and then 5 steps back. And that's how it was described when I spoke with the counselor. So it's been a lot of really intensive help for this child. The child's not even in school full time yet because the child wasn't handling any kind of stress. My client then has to take time off work, go pick up the child. My client's been involved in the counseling with the child. And so we're asking at this time that we not start visitation and start contact until we have input from the professionals. And I think the GAL, my client is in the process of filling out a pretty extensive GAL packet. I went over it with her because there's a lot of information that was requested, but I've also instructed her to sign releases of information with all of her providers, all the child's providers, so that the GAL can get all of this. So one of the things we're requesting today is that Mr. Phillips not have any contact with the child until we get the professionals. So if it takes us a month to get all of the information from the professionals, have the GAL weigh in, because the concern is this child, and the reason why we submitted all the documentation, this child was living in a chaotic house prior to coming back to my clients. If you look at the information I've provided in regards to Mr. Phillips and his family, his 2 brothers, one of them is in prison now that because of criminal activity. The other brother's got significant criminal history that is pending. Mr. Phillips has, I think, his pending. I don't know what's happening, but he's got a trial coming up for a felony eluding. You've got a lot of information that really needs to be gone through before the court will give any contact between the child and the father. And my client, the reason why she wanted to wait is she wanted Mr. Phillips to take a parenting class. She wanted him to be at least clean and sober for a year. We don't have any documentation of any of the treatment. We just have him saying he is clean, but we need the documentation to show, yes, he is clean. Also, there should be some type of anger management or some type of evaluation, mental health evaluation. My client acknowledged that there's been no domestic violence. And if you look at, I provided a copy of Mr. Phillips's criminal history, which is pretty extensive, but it doesn't appear to be any DVs. It appears to be a lot of drug related, but you also have some, I believe it's a robbery in the first degree. He went to prison for some
being a child
serious,
molester.
He's got a burg 1, assault 2. There may not be women involved, but you've got violence. And so there's just this concern if Mr. Phillips is truly on the road to straightening out his life. I think the court needs more information before this very fragile child has contact with her father. And she has treating professionals that the GAL could talk to. We could come back in a month to see what is the best for this child. If this was just a child where you didn't have this issue, I don't think my client would be asking for this restrictive of a plan. But in looking at this particular child, Aliana is very young, but she's also so young to have these many professionals involved. We also have, my understanding, and I was unable to reach the school psychologist who's also been working with this child. So there's, my client has been following up with the schools. She's not involved with WISE. And part of the reason she's not involved with WISE, as my client tells you, is that Aliana has developed a trust relationship with her providers. So if all of a sudden she has to change people, develop that trust, Aliana doesn't do well with change. And so that's why WISE is not there just yet. But we did provide the IEP to the court. And so we're asking at this point that the court not order any contact, that we get more information to the GAL. I don't have any problem coming back in 30 days, but giving that information to see what's best for Aliana, because this is not just a 7-year-old child who's got a few issues. This is a real significant issue for a child this age. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Phillips, anything else you want to say?
Yeah. For one, my violent history was well over 20 years ago. Okay. I haven't had no violence in well over 20 years. All right. The Rob one was when I beat a child molester. All right.
It doesn't make it any better, but go ahead.
It doesn't. I'm just saying it has nothing. I was protecting women and children in both cases. I shot a guy when I was 15 for beating his wife and kids, his 2-year-old and 7-year-old daughter. Okay. Again, it doesn't make it right. I took the law in my own hands. Okay. But I've done my time and I've moved on. Okay. I haven't had no violent history. Right now, I'm looking to get mental health court. I have mental health through it's integrated hang on a second. Oh, hang on a second. I'm getting my card. Oh, right here. Community integrated services. Ms. Cotto, you can I'll sign ROIs for you guys to get all that stuff, but I have my mental health and SUD assessments done. Okay. I'm going through True Blood also to get the elude, felony elude, to get drug court or mental health court, one of the two. I was in the TRC up on the hill, a 30-day program there, inpatient. I put myself in there. I also, like I said, I'm going through it's ILP. I just started ILP, which is I already know, you guys know what that is. Anyways, I just started that. I got 3 hours, 3 days a week, treatment. I just want to see my daughter. I mean, it's been over a year. I've been clean. You know what I mean? I've been off opiates for 3 months. I've been off meth for 2 months. I've been totally clean. Like I said, I'll sign RLIs for you guys. I mean, I have no problem with that, Ms. Goyle. And my record being used against me, man, it's, my brother's records, they have their own places. They never, at no time, where they were staying with my mom, CPS. I mean, I got records here too that I'm gonna have filed. That I'm gonna have. I mean, I know Amy. Um, I forgot her last name. Anyways, Amy, the guardian ad litem, she's gonna have all the records. But I got 11 pages here that I got for myself through CPS records. And just highlighting stuff. I didn't know that I was gonna have it served today, but then I just got it today through my counselor here at Community Integrated Services. Um, Anyhow, I just want to see my daughter, Your Honor. You know what I mean? I have no problem showing that I've been clean, that I am clean. I have no problem with that, So the ROIs, that's not a problem. So,
All right. I appreciate that, Mr. Phillips. Here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to rely on the order that's in place. So it sounds like that order required you to do a substance abuse and anger management evaluation. It sounds like at least the substance abuse you've already started and are working on.
The parenting plan.
Let me talk now. Let me talk now.
Sorry.
So I want you to sign an ROI for your current substance abuse treatment program to Ms. Cotto and to Ms. Turnbull.
Yep.
And have you done an anger management evaluation?
I did have my mental health and stuff through. I mean, I'm pretty sure
it's very possible that the mental health provider you're working with right now can help you get anger management evaluation.
Okay,
so why don't you ask them about that? You need to allow Miss Marin, Miss Turnbull to have any conversations with your treatment provider that they need too. So like open communication between those. So that's what the release of information is. And once we have all that and we get some, it sounds like Ms. Cotto is working on getting some updated information from your daughter's counselor and the services that she's in. Once we have all that information, we can figure out how to safely figure out the next steps for you being able to start visitation with her. Does that make sense? So
yeah, I'm gonna have Sarah.
I'm gonna unfortunately err on the side of protecting her, which means delaying your visitation with her, but that means we're moving towards visitation with her. Does that make sense?
All right. I mean, it sucks I had to go this far to be able to see my daughter. You know what I mean?
Well, it's too bad that you didn't know that all this could have been in process for a year, and we're starting it late, but we're starting it. So that's the important part. How much time, since you're already engaged in treatment services, I'm assuming you can get that release done relatively quickly.
I'll go there right now.
You're in mental health services, and they may be able to help with anger management and sign any releases there. Ms. Cotto, you think, and I guess Ms. Turnbull, I'll ask you as well. Do you think a month is, if we set this to mid-January for review, that all that information should be able to be shared amongst everyone?
The problem is the holidays right now. School's out, so we can sign the releases. I need to get Ms. Turnbull all of the CPS information because I'm going to have that on a thumb drive for her because it's probably too big to email. And I have a lot of information. So I don't know what Ms. Turnbull's schedule is. I would say at the earliest, the end of January, because we need to get with the school, and I don't know if there's an input from somebody else.
I think the end of January sounds reasonable, and I will certainly do my best to get the information from the other providers. Right now, I don't have, information back from either party, so it's a little bit difficult to know between the holidays and when that information is going to come because, I need that to get started. So,
Amy, Amy, I sent over that packet. I emailed it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I haven't received it yet, but I appreciate that you sent it.
Okay, it was Friday last week. Okay, Thursday or Friday last week I sent it over, but yeah.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to, because I don't want to lose track of this, and that we may not have everything we need, but let's set a review for January 23rd, 2024 at 1 p.m. Okay.
Okay.
And then Mr. Phillips, I'm going to ask that you make sure that you give Miss Kodo and Miss Turnbull your most up-to-date contact information, whether that's phone number, email, whatever you use most often, and we'll be
Yeah.
checking the most often so we can all make sure that we can communicate and share information. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Your Honor, I just have a quick question because I anticipate I'm going to be doing the order. Is that you ordered SUD and anger management, ROIs and evaluations. Did you also order an ROI for the mental health services or not?
Done. Yeah.
I am going to order that. And
Okay.
and just so we're on the same page, everything besides the mental health portion was already ordered in the temporary parenting plan from December of last year.
Right.
So,
I'm just going to do a quick order on hearing that we're going to follow the temporary parenting plan with the exception of there's going to be no contact with the child until further order of the court. And I will submit that to Mr. Phillips. I do have a contact phone number with him and he is good about staying in touch.
Okay.
360. Always reach me at that number or leave a message.
All right.
Okay.
So, Mr. Phillips, you grab a copy of that parenting plan before you leave the courthouse
will.
today and get all those ROIs signed, and we'll see you back next month, and hopefully we'll be a lot closer to getting visitation started. Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
All right. Good
Thank
luck.
you, Your Honor.
On the Lloyd, the Phillips and Marin matter, 19-3-330-108. Yeah, go ahead and have a seat there at the table, sir. And you're Patrick Phillips?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I see Miss Kodo is there.
Your Honor, this is Amy Turnbull, the guardian ad litem on the case.
Okay. So I'm not sure why this is on today. It was set over from a motion that was not granted, and then it was just set on for something. There's no paperwork in the file, so.
And I have to note it on in front of Judge Fassett to get the order entered, but it was on to review the guardian ad litem. This is kind of a unique case that involves, it's not, this is a high needs, high maintenance child. And so there's a number of experts to talk to. And I know that Ms. Turnbull has been working on it, but also Mr. Phillips was supposed to sign ROIs, including me, and my phone calls have been that I made a call just recently that I'm not part of the ROI did not include me, but just to basically review the case, see where we are at. And I need to find out from Mr. Phillips if he is doing his if he's got an anger and evaluation and where it was at. I don't think we're really ready to go forward, and I think the guardian can speak to it better than I can, but there's still some experts and some folks that need to be talked to before we start looking at Mr. Phillips' visitation.
Ms. Turnbull?
I would agree with that. Mr. Phillips is in the process. He has done his abuse evaluation and a mental health evaluation, but those have not yet been collateralized. We're working on getting that done. There's been some miscommunication on that. He has not yet done the anger management assessment, and he has some questions for you about that today that he'd like to address. He also has some questions about the release of information for Ms. Kodo that he'd like to address. I've asked him to sign the release of information for Ms. Kodo. I just spoke with him earlier today. Apparently he has not yet done that and has some concerns about it. But my understanding is he has signed the ROIs for Ms. Marin and myself. So we do need to complete that collateralization and complete those three assessments before we can move forward. I do have some other experts that I do need to speak to and healthcare providers for the child in particular before we move forward as well.
Okay. Like I said, this isn't on, as far as I can see, for any issue for the court to address. Is why I'm trying to understand why we're here today.
It was on for review just to see where we were at with the experts and the GAL. And I can tell the court that there's about I think 4 or 5 experts that are treating the child, school folks. And so I think it was on just to see where we were at and if we're making forward progress, because the court wanted us to do some forward progress, but we've kind of hit the wall on a few things. So I don't know if the court wants something in writing from all the parties, or you want to hear. I have no idea what the problem is or what Mr. Phillips's concerns are about signing an ROI for me. I just know it wasn't done, and it was ordered.
When would, well, hold on a second. When was that ordered? Because
That was ordered back in the last time we were before the court. I'm looking for my notes. I don't have it exactly in front of me. I've got the order that I finished, and it was in front of Judge Fassett, and he did order that he sign ROIs for me. I don't have a problem adding to that order that I'm not to disseminate the information other than to talk to my client and the experts, if that's what Mr. Phillips is concerned about.
I don't have an attorney, okay, Your Honor, and so I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything that I should be doing, and when I do get an attorney, I didn't hurt myself in any way, you know. I don't have an attorney right now. I've been trying to get an attorney, and now one of my biggest questions is, can you help me get an attorney? I went through Northwest Legal Justice, and Eleanor Cotto is through the other one, and so that's conflict of interest, so I can't get one through them, and the other one, Clear, I did an interview with them, and they said my case is too big, that they don't have somebody that can represent me pro bono, and that's my case right now. I just barely got a job, so I mean, I don't have money to get an attorney, and I don't want to hurt myself. And in all the paperwork that I've read, it doesn't say that Eleanor Cotto is. I have to put in an ROI for her. And I don't remember the judge saying that I had to anytime sign an ROI for my mental health and my SUD counselors for her. And so that's what, and cauterized to me is Monique is just to call and give her input, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just to call and give her input to my counselors. So I don't understand why would her attorney have to have a ROI when the guardian ad litem and Monique both have ROIs now, and I was misunderstanding all her ROIs and stuff going on, because where I was doing my treatment, there's like 3 different businesses in the one place. It was just, it's crazy. Okay. But I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. The anger management thing, Eleanor, is right now is they're wanting to charge $600 for an assessment because it's through family court. I don't have the money. I'm trying to get the money together to do that. But Your Honor, the question I had for you for the anger management thing is because it's ordered by the court to have an assessment done. Okay, my mental health counselor is certified through Washington State. Okay, he's in mental health. And he said he will give. I filed. I got a whole stack of file stuff. I just filed that you haven't had a chance to see yet. But you will before the next court date, I'm sure. But my question is, he's certified. He's my mental health counselor, and he said he will work with me, and he will show proof that he's working with me in my progress with my anger if I need. You know, I do need anger management. Okay, I'm not gonna say I don't. I do need some anger management, and I'm willing to work on that with my mental health counselor, because I don't have $600 for an assessment and then $35. I'm doing parenting class right now. I'm doing SUD. I'm seeing my mental health counselors. I got all this stuff going on, and I'm willing to work on my anger management. And I asked you if I have his credentials and everything that I had sent you, and showing that he's my mental health counselor, and he said he will have no problem sending over progress reports to you, to the courts, so you guys can have it. Will you approve that?
okay, well, let me stop you just for a second here. So I'm at a bit of a loss here because I don't have an order to work from. I don't know what Judge Bassett ordered. It does say something about ROIs, doesn't say to who in the clerk's note. So it seems to me what we probably need to do before I can do anything is to get an order as to what happened with Judge Bassett So I know what I'm even talking about here.
Yeah.
Well, Your Honor, like I said, everybody was out. I was out ill for a few weeks and then I was on vacation. So
I don't
did not
understand.
have a chance.
I didn't know
Yeah,
what was on because I don't have an order and so I don't know anything about this case other than it was on for review today or something.
I just want to be able to
So
visit my daughter, you know?
Well, hold on a second, sir.
my suggestion to the court, I will get it noted on, and Judge Bassett's presentation docket is Friday at 8:45, correct?
Is that?
Yes.
That appears to be correct.
Okay, so I can't get it on this Friday just because I have a trial, so I don't think I will be available this Friday, but I can put it on for a week from Friday, and I don't have a current address for Mr. Phillips because my last piece of mail was returned.
Yeah,
So-
sorry, I'm sorry, I just changed it, I just changed it again, I just moved, sorry about that, I was gonna call you too, I just changed it today.
Okay, as long as, and so the last piece of mail was returned, so I will get that out, and then we can argue whether I have the ability to have an ROI, because I haven't, if Mr. Phillips filed things with the court, he didn't serve anything on me. My understanding is that this counselor is not state certified in anger management. I don't know who, I found it.
He is.
Well,
Found out-
hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Okay, why don't we, if you want to, I mean, I could put it on for that docket, but
Okay.
if you want to prepare some orders.
I can do that. In fact, I prepared, the orders is prepared, and I will send it out to everybody today now that I have Mr. Phillips' address. Then we can come back before the court and talk to the court about ROIs. I mean, if the judge said no, she didn't order it, then I will remove that, but it's certainly, it's in my notes. It may not be in the clerk's notes, but if we can put it on a week from Friday, I will get Mr. Phillips a copy of the order as well as Ms. Turnbull.
Okay.
And then we can take it from there.
All right, we'll start there. We'll put it on for the 2nd of February at 8:45. And that, sir, that would be a Zoom hearing. So you'll get a copy of the order sent to the address you just gave us, the 17th Avenue address,
Okay,
and see if that says what you remember it to say, and then that'll get sorted out.
yeah, I'm not trying to buck the system, you know what I
okay,
mean, I'm
just-
just trying
just-
to, like, not.
Just
okay.
listen to me for a second,
Okay.
okay? So first off, I don't have an ability to give you an attorney. We don't have that available, at least not at this juncture. So again, I would continue. I believe are we still doing are they still doing the Monday things, or are
They'll
those?
just start it back up this week. They'll be here next Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's, I
if
can't do
you
that.
come here to the courthouse next Monday, they have a lawyer here who
Mhm.
may be able to give you some advice.
I've already tried it, and that's the same.
Okay, well, let's just listen to
Okay,
it,
sorry.
sir.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm trying to give you some options.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Okay, so if you show up there, maybe they can help you locate someone who can talk to you, if nothing else.
Okay.
So that'll start there.
Uh,
When you leave here, I want you to go to the clerk's office and fill out a change of address form so that we have your current address, so we can send you paperwork if we need to.
I just did that.
Just do that.
Yep.
You've already done that?
Yep. And I'm gonna stop buying DVDs, stuff that I filed in the court to you. I'm gonna stop
Hey, you
buying,
gotta
give
get
her a
them.
copy.
Get it to Miss Coto and get them to Miss Turnbull. So everybody's got the same
Okay.
stuff.
Okay,
And then once you come back next Friday in front of Judge Bassett, you can ask the questions about whatever she's ordered, and I don't know what that is because I don't have that in front of me,
Mhm.
as to what would qualify. And depending, I don't know what your mental health counselor's qualifications are. If they qualify, that may be fine. It may not be.
Okay.
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 So at this point, the next hearing is going to be next Friday, the 2nd, 8:45 in the morning, and it's a Zoom hearing. And if you go to our website, it'll be Judge Bassett's presentation docket.
Okay.
Okay.
And I just come here, I just come here for it, because.
Okay. You can come
And-
and use this. You can come and use the Zoom booth. That's fine.
And Judge Basher, will you remind Mr. Phillips to make sure he gives me copies of anything he files?
Yeah. He just said he's going to do that. So
Okay,
anything.
and I'll have a copy of the order, which I will give him right then, and then I will scan and email it to Ms. Turnbull also.
Okay. So
Oh.
anything that you file with the court, you need to get to Ms. Turnbull and to Ms. Coto.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
All right. So we'll come back in front of Judge Bassett on Friday, and then if she wants to set a hearing after that, that's fine. If not, somebody will note it back on.
Okay.
now, in order for like, cause I'm doing most of, except for the anger management, it's like, I was like hit a wall there, you know, cause like I said, I don't have the money. But, in order for me to have a visit with my daughter, over the phone, but I have no problem paying $25 an hour for a visitation specialist. I mean, but I haven't seen her in a year, Your Honor. You know what I mean? And I've had a couple relapses in the last 5 months, but I've been clean now for like 2.5 months, and I've been doing my SUD. I've had clean UAs.
Okay,
But
I don't even know if there's a parenting plan in here.
There is a parenting plan.
there's-
And at this point, we're asking that it says no visits until he does a number of things, and he hasn't completed any of those things.
Yes.
That parenting plan was entered back in November, and so at this
Oh,
point, I would suggest to the court that let's get the order entered, and then Mr. Phillips can renote his, or Judge Bassett can make a decision as to whether or not there needs to be another hearing. There'll probably be another review, but
Hey, you just said I didn't complete anything in that parenting plan. I've completed most everything in that that plan except
Okay.
for
Well, that's
except for the.
sir, that's not before me today.
Okay, I
so-
was just don't understand why she's saying that. I've been in SUD. I've
Okay, well,
all my
hold-
stuff.
Hold on, you've done some, I can see you've
Right.
done some stuff, you filed some things, you've done
Yeah.
some evaluations, so that's in the file. Not making any decisions today.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
so next Friday, Judge Bassett, you talk about all these concerns about the order.
Mhm.
She'll get that entered and I'll know what she's ordering and what we're working with.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
All right, so next
All right.
Friday, 8:45.
All right. Thank you.
thank you.
You're welcome.